when a Rav, a teacher, has a following,
Yes.
many of his decisions have to take the following, maybe I'm wrong, into account. How would that affect my group? And a lot of people in your group are newly married people with children, and moving to Rehavia is not easy for them. Mm-hmm. And I know that you say money isn't a factor for you, and maybe money isn't a factor for them, but maybe they don't want to live in Rehavia. But you see, you have two things. You have, just because your dream or someone's dream is...
We're not telling people, look, if you want to learn in the Emunah Center, you need to live in Rehavia. The Emunah Center is in Rehavia. So we need to, what should we do? We should move the Emunah Center to have a branch in Pisgat Ze'ev, a branch in Betar, a branch in Givat Ze'ev, and a branch in Beit Israel and in Efrat. So we have, it's called the Emunah channel.
Why are homes in Mea Sharim so expensive? Because everyone wants to live near their yeshiva.
Because,
right?
Yeah, because...
And the further you're away from it, the more disconnected you are from the yeshiva and the Rav and Shabbat.
The only change is Shabbos. The only difference is Shabbos. You can come here in a light train, in a bus. No, really, Yosef is riding his bike, and everyone, Chaim driving his bike, and everyone takes his way of coming here, and you take the light train. The distance is, you can feel the distance, I think, that you can feel the distance only in Shabbos, unless you have some spiritual feelings that you feel that your area is not inspiring as the area of the yeshiva, of the Emunah Center. I will tell you the secret. I understand the will of Hashem Yitbarach from me as how you called it before? A teacher, a rabbi, someone that is mashpia, mentor. So I understand that if now you see that a certain person have a problem, and you say to yourself, look, he cannot deal with it. It's going to be too much for him to carry. So it means that you, as a rabbi, as a mentor, you don't believe in him. You judged him now that you are better than him, that you can deal, you would have be able to deal with that situation, and he is not. So me, I'm not doing that. And every good thing that I see in my eyes, that it's the kindness of Hashem, that it's in potential, it's in power, we're able to achieve, I'm able to achieve, I'm not hiding it from you, because I have a very clear understanding about it, that you can achieve even more than me, or at least the same, for sure. Because why that Hashem gonna reveal it to me? Why that Hashem gonna open that option for me? When I bought the first house that I bought, I was broke. I didn't have money. I didn't have support. It's written in that amazing book, Bisdei Yahar, Forest Fields. In the Hebrew edition, it's in that page, I think. No, someone moved it. But it's somewhere in the end. There is a story on how I bought my house. Rav Shalom mentioned that story, how I bought my house. I bought my house. Rav Shalom starts the story over here, and he's saying, Avrech came to me and told me that he doesn't have money to pay the rent. So I told him, Rav Shalom is saying, why that you're going to pay rent? Pray already for a house. So it's not precise, but that was the direction. That was the atmosphere, the avira, the situation. We didn't have money. Just my wife, she said, we're buying a house. I've had it with renting houses. You're buying me a house. And me, Avrech, broke, back then we were receiving 800 shekels a month from the Yeshiva Chut Shel Chesed. It's $200 a month. That was my paycheck, my maskoret. For that, I was every day from 9 in the morning till 3 at noon in the yeshiva for $200 a month. Okay? And now I need to buy a house. And I realized that there is no job in the world that I can go and work in to give me the money to buy that house that I need to. And I'm not planning also to leave the yeshiva. So what I'm going to do? I'm going to pray. And to all of the people that don't know what to do with themselves and that the solutions that they see in front of their eyes are too hard for them, it's only because of laziness. Only because of lack of prayers. If you have a problem, you have a situation, go pray for it. Okay, so we lived in that house that we bought, even though that we lacked a lot of money. And we prayed to buy that house. And I made 6 hours and then another 6 and another 6 and then another 6. And one day, I said to my wife, listen, I'm going to do 12 hours. We don't have a choice. We have to. And she said, okay. And I went and I didn't complete 12. I done only 11. I fell asleep in the car in the 11th hour when I was in the parking, thank God. No, that's where I learned to drive. Yeah, those were the days that I learned how to fly. What's the name of that, the Back to the Future car? What was the name? DeLorean. That's where I bought my first DeLorean. And then I bought that house. And we bought a house with a lot, that cost us a lot more money than the money that we had after that we received support and help from our parents. A lot more. And in the end, we were lack of $50,000. And Rav Shalom told me, sign the contract. I told him, Rav, I'm going to do that. He said, count on me, don't worry. I told him, Rav, I can count on you, no problems. It's very easy for me to count on you. I count on you. But my parents, they were not going to count on you. He said, tell them that I'm going to pay if you will not going to have the money. I told him, Rav, you're sure? He said, yes. He didn't plan to pay the money. I tell you, the miracle happened from a different direction, but we signed a contract with a lacking of $50,000, 200,000 shekels. We were lack of, and we signed the contract. And 2 days or 3 days before the day that we had to pay the money, we received the money. And 3 months I was going and keep on praying. I don't have $50,000. I'm lack of 50,000 and more prayers. And then we got the money and we paid and we went into the house and we enjoyed that house. And after 5 years, my wife, she said, that's it. I cannot stand this house anymore. And we had to buy another house. And we didn't have money because my salary haven't changed a lot. Back in those days, I was receiving 1,100 shekels a month from the yeshiva. It's expanded. We went to the new building in Shmuel HaNavi 13 already. We were all rich. 1,100 shekels a month, avrech, 9 till 5. No problem. And then I was also in charge on the English program. And then mamash, my salary was a lot more. I got almost 3,000 shekels a month. It's something like $800 a month for being in charge of the English program. You understand? That's how I bought the second house. You know why? Because I didn't plan to leave the yeshiva. Never in my life. Never, ever in my life. I wasn't about to leave the yeshiva at all. And I knew that whatever I'm going to need for the sake of my family, Hashem going to give me. And I done hours on hours of prayers, hitbodedut, on buying the second house. And I bought it. And after almost 2 years, Hashem told me, that's not your address anymore. You need to sell that house. And I sold that house. And then we moved here to Rechavia because Hashem wanted us to move to Rechavia because Hashem doesn't want people to live in filthy streets. where people are burning trash cans, and when there is garbage all over the streets, and people are poor, and people are scared, and people don't have faith. They can be religious, they can be from birth, they can look very, very strict, but fear from heaven, real faith is a big lacking over there in those streets. And Hashem wants to bring people to Eretz Israel, to a place that they're gonna enjoy, live in that place, that they're gonna be able to believe in themselves, to educate the children not under the eyes of the neighbors, and not between the burned tires and trash cans that are stinking the air, and that you cannot live over there. Okay, so you can call it Me'asharim, Beis Yisrael. It's a name, it's a title. Can you live there? Can you raise your children over there in joy, in happiness? Go do that. If you're not able to do that, so you need to go to find yourself. And where is the place? I remember this place, the area of Rechavia, from my childhood. I lived in that street, Ben Saruk. We lived here. I learned in the street Ben Labrat, in Bet Sefer Pola Ben Gurion. I learned first grade and second grade in Pola Ben Gurion, the school over here. That was my school. I lived in Ben Saruk. I lived in Ibn Shafrut, that is very close to my house. And I lived also in Usishkin. We moved a lot of apartments, but at least 4 apartments were here in Rechavia. I like that area. I feel comfortable here. Here I feel in Jerusalem. Here I feel home. Here I feel that I can be who that I am. And I don't need to think what other people are thinking about me, and if I'm fulfilling my obligation to the community, to the public, to the Rav, to the Rabbani, to the Yeshiva, to whatever. I can be who that I am. And from that inner good feeling that I have, I can inspire the rest of the world also to believe in themselves. People that lives in South Africa, they don't need to leave Cape Town and to come and to live here. They can make Cape Town to be heaven, but they need to hear it from someone that have a certain faith in himself, that have that belief that you can find it, that's going to inspire them over there in Cape Town. And if I will not going to be a man of truth, a person that is marching in the path of his inner truth, to be who that he is, to find himself, I will never going to be able to teach and to give it to other people. That's the reason why we're here. Because for me it's good, and for my goodness, yes, well-being, it's required for me to stay here. And I cannot teach you how to be happy if I'm sad, if I'm under fire, under threats, under terror. I cannot teach you how to be happy. That's the reason. And it's a very nice place here. It's quiet, you can hear the birds, you have trees here, amazing parks over here, there is a forest here, you can do long hitbodeduyot between the bunny rabbits over there. Obi have names for every one of them already. And that's it. Watership Hill. You read that book? No? So you have something to learn? Amazing book. You can learn a lot. And that's the reason, and I believe, we saw a lot of signs. Also the street Ben Labrat 9. Ben Labrat 9, it's a number that represents the truth. 9 is a number that represents the truth. The numeral value of the word Emet is 9. Taf, we learned it as 4, and Mem is 4, and Aleph it's 1. So it's 9. Emet, it's 9. And Ben Labrat, Donash Ben Labrat, that's the righteous man that wrote the song Dror Ikra. So he called us. He called me to come to this place. We were planning to rent another place, and when I told Obi we're going to sign the contract, he thought that we're going to the other house in the Tibunim. It was just Hashem made it to be that place, and that's the place. That's the place, you know. People can think that it's better to live in United States, and people can think that it's better to live in Europe, and people can say that it's better to live in Efrat and in the village, or to go and to live Negev or Bik'ah, or everyone can have his opinion, but you need to check inside of yourself what Hashem is saying to you. Maybe for you it's better to live in the Negev, and for me it's better to live here. It depends in the roots of the souls. So there is we don't need more proofs for the fact that we're happy to be here, because we're here and we're happy to be here. So that's why we're here. About the question that you asked on if the teacher, he's got a responsibility on his followers, on his students. So the answer is that the responsibility that he's got on their lives is only to be there for them as much as he can. Not really to protect them from weather and poverty. No one can do that. We have Hashem Yitbarach above the biggest righteous people. He decides beyond our reach. He's above us. You cannot change his decisions. What you can do as a teacher, as a rabbi, as a mentor, as a leader, as a human being, you can be there for them and to try to give them the best thing that you believe that exists. So that's my responsibility for my students, to try to give them from what that I see that is good in the world of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And like that we said, it's written, Karati, Mina Metzar Karatiya, from the narrow places I called Hashem, Anani B'merchavya, and he answered to me from Merchavya. That's it. Yeah, you chose right, Achei Yakar. You made the right choice in your life. Yeah. And your wife, she can testify on that. That's the right choice. We don't need to be humble in the place that humility is not required. When you have the best apples in town, you don't need to say that you sell rotten apples. You need to say, hey guys, best apples in town. That's your merchandise. I received huge gifts from HaKadosh Baruch Hu. No doubt about it at all. Huge gift. And it's all really, for sure, it's his loving kindness. But you have to be worthy to receive. Not everyone receives those gifts. And like I mentioned, my life story, my tshuva story, a few times, the point of truth that I had in the beginning of my tshuva, that I realized that there is a creator, and I realized that I was lying to myself until today, and I didn't judge myself, I wasn't angry, I didn't know, but I lived in an imaginary world, I lived in a lie. That pain that I felt in that moment, that I realized that I was all wrong, was very painful. But I had that humility to admit that I was so wrong, and I decided, against all of my logic, against all of my family, all of my friends, all of my confidence, all of my joy, all of my future, against everything in the world, to stick to the truth. And I fought with my parents and with my brothers and with all of my friends, and I just took myself somewhere else. And it was a very painful journey for me. The beginning was very painful, and the middle was very painful, and I still suffer today. Because of that point of truth that I'm not dropping off. And this is why I have that courage to tell you, let's go and buy a house in 18 million shekels, because I know that there is a creator. And the creator doesn't been held back because of money. Money is not an issue. Your tshuva is not an issue. Your righteousness, your purity, nothing is an issue. The issue is how to be there for Hashem, for the ones that needs you. That's the issue. And I'm doing it with more than 100% of my powers. I dedicated, and I'm dedicating my life to that, to you, to each and every one of the friends. If it's in power, if it's in prayers, if it's in my time, if it's in my thoughts, if it's when I'm learning, if it's when I'm eating. And you cannot imagine how much I'm giving to each and every one of you, because you're not sensitive enough to feel the thinnest intricacies, the intricacies. But you do feel from the heart that I'm not lying. At least that's a good thing. Yeah, then you can keep on receiving more. But the truth is that I'm sacrificing myself for each and every one of you. I could take the money and run away. I sold that apartment over there in Bet Israel in a very nice profit. And I'm investing that money here in the Emunah Center. And I'm putting my life in this Emunah Center because we want to spread faith in the world. And we want people to grow and people to know Hashem. Like that you now, Avram Krieger knows Hashem. That you know that you can go and talk to Hashem in the field and in the forest, and you can talk to Him in the light train, and when you have a problem you go to your backyard and you can talk to Hashem. That's the purpose. I don't need you to achieve more than that. You achieved already what that I want that everyone else gonna achieve. That's why I'm not calling you every 24 minutes. Yeah. Because you achieved what that you were supposed to achieve. Okay, you can achieve more, of course. Upload your videos, talk to more people, have students, keep on helping me, be my hand, be my branches. Go and spread the rumors that there is a God that loves us, that there is a Creator that loves us. Okay. And then you're going to achieve a lot more. Then you're going to have a lot more. But our purpose is to go and to expose the light of Hashem around the world, that everyone going to know Him, everyone going to recognize Him, everyone going to know that He loves them. That's our success. And it's happening already for Rechavia, so thank you. Yes.
Alright, so you bought a house with like lacking $50,000, right? So you know how stressful it is to be those 3 months walking, trying to go through a normal life, trying to, do everything, knowing that you have $50,000 over your head. It wasn't that you were floating in the air knowing that it was going to be okay. It's a stressful situation to be in. So, like, how would you recommend somebody to put themselves in that situation, knowing how difficult it is? And since obviously you do recommend it, so how do you deal when you're in that situation? And it is a very stressful thing, especially trying to keep a normal life with your wife and your kids while you know you have that. So what are some tips to function like that?
Okay, so first of all, if you know that the medicine, that the cure for a certain disease is very bitter, you will not going to stop the sick person from eating it daily, because you know that that's his health, that's his cure, that's what's going to save his life. And you're going to make it sweeter, and you're going to help him, and you're going to tell him, hey, let's eat it together. I'm going to also put it in my salad, in my soup, or let's put chocolate on it. You're going to try to do the best that you can, but you will not going to hold it back from him because it's bitter. Why? Because you're here to save his life. So there are a lot of ways that people can live their lives in a lie. They can work all day long and to imagine to themselves in a lie that they are mefarnesim their own families, that they're bringing money to their houses. It's a lie. I'm not saying don't work, but don't think that you are bringing the money because that you work. The money, Hashem, He brings the money. So maybe Hashem wants you to work, so go to work. But don't forget that it's all from Hashem. So there is one truth, that it's all Hashem. That Hashem, that the Creator, He's the one that is doing everything. And that's the only truth that exists. Now, to commit yourself to that, it's a process. Because you have to drop a lot of lies that you were holding before. Lusts, desires, fears, angers, quick and easy solutions to find joy and happiness and satisfy and pleasuring yourself with nonsense, with shtuyot, with alcohol, drugs, food, meat, steaks, whatever, and worst. And for sure, it's a journey. But it's worthy because you know that the satisfaction, except of the fact that, let's say, that's the truth. We're not such kanaim to say, no, that's the truth, and you have to keep the truth, and that's the truth, and let's be strict, and that. No. The truth is that when you're going to reach the truth finally, or every step, every spark of truth along the way, it's going to bring real joy and real satisfaction into your life, and it's going to help you to feel complete and happy and relaxed with yourself. So even though that pearls are in the depths and gold is in the mines and in the rivers, and that money, you need to fight for it and to go and to find your parnasa wherever it is, still you need to achieve those good points, and it's worthy. It's worth it to work 8 hours and to bring a salary back home. It's worth it to cross from one land to the other and to find a gold mine or diamond mines and to bring huge parnasa to you. It's worth it. The effort is worth it. So me, as a person with big experience in my life, I know that it's worth it because I already achieved amazing results. Let's talk about a house. Now you want to buy a house. You know how many hours you're going to have to work as a waiter or as a doctor or as a lawyer to bring that amount of money. I have a brother that he's a lawyer. It took him longer than me to buy his house. It took him longer only to take the decision to buy that house, and he's making fortune. He's making a lot of money. He's a very successful lawyer. It took him a lot longer time to take that decision, and I already bought my house. I jumped into the water like Nachshon ben Aminadav and didn't look to the sides. So out of that experience, life experience, I know that it's possible. And I know that even though that it sounds so hard to do another 6 hours and another 6 hours, and why are you sending us to such a hard path, to such a hard way? It's a lot easier. The truth is that, let's say after 300, let's say 300 hours it's going to take you to buy that house. Do you know someone else that can buy a house in 300 hours work? No. People are working 30 years to buy their houses. So the path is a lot more successful than other ways that you can choose in life. And the life experience is showing that you achieve things in that path that you cannot achieve nowhere else in the world. Because when you work between women, so you will not going to achieve purity. No matter how much you want to be strong and work on your eyes, forget it. And if you're not going to learn Torah, so no matter how much you're going to try to work on your midot and on your attributes, you will never going to complete it. Because the light that's in the Torah brings you to be good. And those things are obligated, that it's required by the nature of the creation. So if you're not going to do hitbodedut, no matter how much you're going to want to be a polite person and a nice person to your children, without hitbodedut and checking yourself and forcing yourself to achieve the truth, you will never going to accomplish, you will never going to complete yourself to be that good person and giver and kind and generous person that you want to be. So a person can live life of suffering, and that other people are going to say, oh, he's a good person, he's bringing parnasa. He's not happy, his wife, she's not happy, their children are not happy. So it is risky, it is hard, but it's the only good things that I know that really exist. So to find easy solutions, it doesn't work. If there was something easier, also, just that you will know, I'm taking a lot on myself, things that I'm not telling you. Like I explained to you, it's a very simple example to understand. Rav Shalom received only 2 advice from Rav Berland on Shlom Bayit. But all of the book, Gana Shalom, he wrote it from his life experience. So you understand that you can receive from Rav Shalom's sufferings, up and downs in his life, something that's going to make your life a lot easier than his life. He sacrificed himself on that journey of understanding what real Shalom Bayit means and how to do real tshuva, deep tshuva, and to find the truth of faith inside of the relationship with his wife and children. And he wrote that book in a huge mesirut nefesh, huge effort and risk, brought down that book, and now you can read it from one cover to the other, and you can have Shalom Bayit. You can, at least you progressed a lot of tears been saved from you by reading that book, a lot of hours, a lot of tshuva, and a lot of houses haven't been broken and ruined because of that book, because of his life experience, that he brought it down to action for you to have a book that you can purchase in $20. So now, me, after 12 years of learning from Rav Shalom, and after 15 years of tshuva, and understanding a lot of things, and reading Gana Shalom, and Gana Emuna, Vebisdei Ya'ar, and Garden of Gratitude, and all of those books, a lot of times, and hearing the classes that brought Harav to write those books, and writing books with Rav Shalom, and more, Vegadol Shimusha Milimuda, from all of those conclusions that I took on my life, after my mistakes, after my failures, after all of my life experience, I'm teaching you the easiest ways of them all. I'm not telling you every day on my journey, how many years it took for me. Sorry for mentioning names. Yosef made 5 minutes itbodedut on his shidduch in Uman. It took him 5 minutes to find his shidduch. Yeah. It took him 5 minutes to pray. The prayer that brought him his wife was a prayer of 5 minutes long in Ezrat Kohanim in Uman. It took him 5 minutes of real nice prayer. So other people can pray for hours, for weeks. You can erase it. It's not a problem. You can change the names. Yosel Shegetz. So the life experience. So if you wouldn't learn how to talk in those 5 minutes, you would have to pray 5 hours to accomplish the same thing. So now, after that, I'm explaining to you how I bought my house. You don't need to walk all of that path that I made to buy my house. For you, it's going to be a lot easier to buy your house. You're not going to have to suffer so much like I suffered to have what that I achieved. Adrabah. You can enjoy my achievements already. It's yours to enjoy them. I had to open the Emunah Center. You have it. I need to pay for it. You can come and learn in it. So those are physical things, but also the spiritual achievements of mine are floating in the air, and everyone can just, like that they said on the Magid Mimezrich, that the divine spirit, Ruach HaKodesh, was between the benches. That it was under the seats. You can just take Ruach HaKodesh and use it. So the wisdom that it took for me, you can look on the yeshiva, the important, amazing yeshiva over there. Not everyone have the same dat like that I have. Not all of them achieved what that I achieved from Rav Shalom. Not everyone over there learned what that I learned in the same 12 years that we were there together. So I did receive something special. So now it's here and it's available. And you now can enjoy it without being need to be Meshamesh Rav Shalom for 12 years and doing so many things for him. And it's still available. So it's not hard and it's a lot easier. Just the thing that hurt is the fact that we're coming from a very disgraceful place, and we feel very far, and we know that we came from a very far place, and to see it, to recognize the truth that I'm so far, that I'm so hopeless and worthless without help from heaven, it hurts our arrogance, our pride very badly. But that's our salvation. That's our redemption. That's how we become to be humble. But to people that are very connected to their selfish being, to want to be successful, to be nice, to be charming, to be appreciated, to be honored, it's very hurtful, painful to feel I'm nothing, I'm zero, I cannot achieve nothing. Only Hashem can help me. It's only by the merit of the righteous people. It's only if I'm going to do tshuva. It's only if I'm going to do it b'dediyot. It's painful. That meeting with the truth is painful. But only by, like I said before to Avram, only by being brave and taking that decision, I'm gonna do that. Lamrot, in spite of the pains, in spite of the suffering, of the shame, of the insulting, of the lack of stability, of that shaky ground under my legs, I'm gonna count on Hashem. That is what that gives you the power, and to Hashem the power to save you and to show and to reveal His greatness. If you're not going to count on Him, how He going to show? If you're not going to jump, how are He going to teach you to fly? If the bird, the chick, he doesn't, the gazelle, he doesn't jump. He's jumping before he knows how to fly. He doesn't know how to fly when he's jumping. You need to jump to learn how to fly. If you're not jumping, the mother, she's telling him, jump, jump, jump. Crisscross is going to make you jump, jump. And then you jump. You haven't born when Crisscross was singing that. It was, they sang it for your Brit Milah, I think. So, only because he believes in his mother, he sees, oh look, my mother, she can fly, so I can fly like my mother. So he finds that courage to jump, and he's jumping. I'm 5 centimeters from the ground. Okay, so it was scary. You're right, but that's the way that you learn how to fly. Thank you.